Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the 19th episode of SimplySada Series. I'm Sarfraz and I'm head of experience at Sada Pay. Today, we're going to talk about career opportunities and what are the roadblocks and challenges and myths about it. And to talk about it, we have with us today Johnson Gill, who's Senior Executive Director in Abacus. So first of all, Johnson, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here. And congratulations to Sada Pay for State Bank approval.
Thank you very much. So Johnson, we will have, today we will talk about this industry in general, how people, what is the perception about it, how people see it as a career opportunity, what are the challenges and everything. So first, can you tell us a bit about your journey, about your work, what you do, and everything else you want to tell us and viewer about yourself?
So I'm Senior Executive Director at Abacus. I manage, primarily outsourcing business, but we have two tech ventures that I also manage. Antlia, which is an experience platform, and there's a grocery platform, which is Grosson. These are three businesses that I manage with Abacus. I've been with Abacus for past 13 years out of 20 years experience journey that I have.
Very good, lovely, thank you. So let's start with few questions that we have. Just so first of all, what we usually hear is that when we talk about call center industry and we talk to people about it, people who are fresh graduate and looking for career opportunities, usually they've been told that customer service, call center, and customer experience is not a career-oriented industry. It's something that you should not go. You should look for a proper job, proper. How true is it, and why this perception is there?
I think one is not true. I would like to, give you a few statistics which show that it's not it's a very big industry. Outsourcing. Let me just tell you a little bit about outsourcing industry. It's more than $700 billion global industry. So it's not a small industry. And then if you look at, for example, some of the statistics which are available to us for US, there are 3.3 million people employed in call center industry. And some of the largest employers, like Wells Fargo, like Citigroup, they have 40 to 50,000 people only in call center. Right, so it's so employers could be very, very big. Another big player, for example, in call center industry, the largest, Teleperformance, they have 150,000 employees. Now, with that size of employers, it's obviously it's a career-oriented job. Then, secondly, if you look at few positions that did not exist before. For example, Chief Experience Officer, Chief Customer Officer, these are the job titles that you did not see in the past. But in last 5-7 years, now you see Chief Experience Officer, Chief Customer Officer. Previously, common positions were obviously CEO, but Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Commercial Officer, Chief Revenue Officer. But now industry is evolving. Now industry is going towards experience, because it's very difficult to differentiate products. And because you cannot differentiate product, you're trying to differentiate through experience. And because of that, new opportunities are now opening up. Very high level CXO positions are opening up. Then even in app development, software development, now you see user experience positions, and these user experience positions are coming from their background is obviously customer service, customer experience. How do customers look at these apps? How do they interact with it? So, how can we make it easy?
Yeah, Johnson, one question. What do you think have changed in last recent year? Like you said before, there weren't so much opportunities, or there were these new titles were not there. It was very basic job. So what do you think? What has changed so much that this has become so important in so many companies in recent past? What is the difference now and before?
The difference is, commoditization of products and services. For example, look at banking, look at telecom. We have, if you have four telecom companies in a country, over a period of time, it's very difficult to differentiate based on the product that you have. You have the same SIM, you have the same packages, you have almost everything is in terms of services, everything is same, and that's your product or service. Now, where you can differentiate is customer experience. That's why industry is changing. Look at banking. So these are top two employers in the world for call center jobs, and these two industries have a very big focused on customer service and customer experience. The reason is all the banks offer same credit card, fees are same, everything else is same, their mortgage loans, their personal loans, all these things are same. So there is no product differentiation. And now companies differentiating based on customer experience, how they handle the customer, how fast they answer, they call, how quickly they resolve, what is their NPS, what are the customer ratings that they're getting, and based on that, they are being differentiated in the market now. So that's the change that I can see is commoditization of products and services.
That's good. So what you're recommending is that people should start seeing this as a proper career opportunity, because this is one industry where people will have to start from step one, from very scratch, and then have to climb up. So is it that difficult?
I mean, it's not difficult. Anything that you put your heart to, anything that you're passionate about, it becomes easier. But if you're not passionate about something and you're forced to be in that industry, then it could be a difficult job. And like you rightly pointed out, you start off in this industry, and this industry leads into a lot of other career opportunities. For example, if you started from call center, you could end up in a retail store as retail manager because you've learned the basics. It teaches you a lot of things that are basics. For example, communication skill. An average agent would take about 150 calls a day, depending on what kind of project they're working on. But they would take about 150 calls a day, and they would spend 8 hours constantly talking to customers, right? I don't see any other job which gives you that opportunity where you're talking to customers 7, 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours a day. Uh, and for example, if you're working in retail in the same job, you'll talk to maybe few customers, and that too, your conversation is not that long. But here you're talking to 150, 120 guys in a day, and that gives you your communication skills improve. I've seen people who were extremely shy. They work in a call center for 3 months, and they're a changed person because they never had the opportunity to talk to so many people, and now because they're talking to so many people, their communication skills improve. They become a lot more confident.
Yeah, because yes, this is one thing that we've observed, that the learning is so much in this particular industry that you actually grow not only professionally but personally as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I know a few who actually started from very from scratch as a CSR, as a customer service representative, and
yeah.
then like yourself, you also started from the very first step, right?
Absolutely, absolutely,
So how
absolutely.
difficult that journey was? How long it took you to become senior executive director from CSR?
I mean, for us, we were part of the industry quite early. So if you're part of something, right at the start. I think, and if you're passionate about it, if you work hard, things get easier. But I've also seen people who were with us joined at the same time, and they still have not grown. Initially, when we started out in a call center, we were working for 12 to anywhere from 12 hours upwards, because we really wanted to be the best. And we were not working for money, we were working to learn.
Yeah,
And
that is what
money
I
is a
was about to
byproduct.
ask. Is it important to be in this industry or in this field that you really love what you do? Because if you're just doing it as a job, probably you'll not be as good as others. Uh, what do you think about it? Because you really have to have a special kind of a mindset to be in a customer service field.
I think, especially in our country, people don't become part of call center because they're passionate about serving customers. They become part of call center because it's a job that they can easily get if they graduate. They can speak good. They got good language skills. They can get in, and I think. Over a period of time they realize whether they're passionate about it or not, because we don't have proper counseling. We don't have a lot of counselors who tell you that this is the career where it can lead you, where you should go. And graduates usually coming right out of school, they're not sure what they want to do.
Yeah.
So whether they get into it without being passionate about it, or whether they are really passionate and they have the clarity of thought that this is where they want to be, they will walk out learning a lot, which can help them in other industries. But if you're passionate about it, obviously you learn a lot faster. You grow a lot faster. You have desire to stand out, and that's true for any career. If you're just like everybody else, and you're not going beyond Call of Duty, then things are going to be slow for a long, long time.
Zabardast. Agla sawal hai, that's also related to the same discussion. What is
Hmm.
the right kind of DNA to be in this industry of customer service and experience? How should a fresh graduate or a beginner evaluate him or herself to know if he's a right fit for it? What are those skill sets or elements?
Right. Surprise, interesting question. So, uh, in my opinion, DNA is very, very simple. It's
Sada.
DNA.
Very sada.
Sorry.
Very sada.
Very sada. Yeah, DNA is very sada. And that DNA is, these are the people who actually want to help others. So they are good hearted, humble people who have desire to help somebody, right? And it's not very difficult to see if you work in this industry. It's very, very simple. These are humble people. They're passionate. They're helpful, and that's the true DNA of people who work in customer experience industry. And these are the people that you know we would want, or other companies who are looking for customer experience, customer services people, they would want. They need to have an innate desire to help others.
So you're saying it has to be natural. You cannot develop it,
uh, no, you can pretend to be nice, right? But you can pretend to be nice, and
but
you
not eight
can.
hours per day regularly back to back when you talk.
Yes,
You
but
will.
problem with pretending to be nice is that when you can pretend to be nice unless you react to a customer who is not so nice, right? And that's when your true self is going to come out, and you're going to be responding in the same coin. And that's why I personally, when we are hiring, we're looking at people who are, and you'll see these people would say please, thank you, which are common graces, right? You expect this from anybody, but actually it is not that common. It's very uncommon for people to be thankful, for people to be appreciative, for you to open door for somebody, for you to give seat to an elderly or to a woman, right? And these are common graces which are not very common in our society, and that's why it is
Unfortunately.
not easy finding these people.
Yeah. And about all of this, do you think our education system really teaches people to be like this, or it can help people, especially if we talk about this industry? Is there any, for example, if you want to be an accountant, you have to study accounts. If you want to be, product developer, computers, and all that, is there any specific kind of course or degree or education that people should go for if they have a mindset of joining this industry?
No, in my opinion, there's not a specific educational background which is required. So we have, a great mix of people. Unfortunately, because of unemployment resulting after COVID, we have a lot of electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, even pilots working for us. People from all over the place, from across different educational backgrounds, and you can see that people with any background can be part of this industry, because you don't need an educational background. You need a behavioral aspect of people to be successful in this industry, and they can come from any specific educational background. Like you said, so in our schools, I don't think there's much on this side right now. On software development, there might be certain courses which are talking about user experience, which is close to customer experience, but not the same. But it's an aspect of customer experience, but I don't think you need a specific educational background. And if you look at calls and industry, you will have people in telecom, in banking, and in other industries who can be successful because of their different. So if somebody has a degree in software engineering, there's a job for them. If you have degree in mathematics, every call center has a big MIS department. Then you have quality assurance for people who have degree in quality assurance, and so
So,
this place for everybody.
yeah. So one more question. We have recently seen that more and more companies are more inclined toward non-voice channel. So back in days, it used to be just one channel for customers to reach to their helpline, which was mainly phone calls. But now we have so many different channels. We can come to chat, email, social media. One, yes, it is cost effective, but from user friendly point of view, it's easier for me to get on a chat than pick up the phone, dial the number, and call and talk to somebody. Now,
Mhm.
when the industry is evolving, and you think as a professional, whoever is planning to join should evolve accordingly and focus more on their writing skills than speaking.
I think you need both. Writing skill is important, but your spoken skills are as important. So they should, I think, and some of the schools really concentrate on this. They give you opportunities where you can write, where you can speak, where you can interact with a lot of other people in group, in societies. Um, uh, I mean, from LUMS, I know that they give a lot of opportunities to students to interact with each other, even with other companies, and that gives you that skill. You got to practice that. Whether you do that at school, if you're an extrovert, you naturally talk to a lot of people, but then your writing skills are not going to be as good, so you need to concentrate on your writing skills. If you're introvert, likelihood is that your writing skills might be better than your speaking skills, and then you need to talk to more people, interact with others, just be in company of people.
Okay, so one more perception out there is that unlike other industries, in call center environment is very cutthroat, and you have to clock in, clock out right on spot, and all you do is the same task all day long. This industry is more or less known for like the producing robots, but not investing in their development and not helping them learn new skills or grow. Is it the same, or anytime soon it's changing? You think if there are call centers, they're big call centers, we know, but if there's CSR who's there for like more than a year and still not learning anything new, his skill set is not improving. Whereas if you work in any other industry, it will be different. So from a development point of view, what do you think this industry, why they are not acting like other industries and not helping their employees to grow?
It depends on the employer, right? Some employers don't focus on constantly training their employees, but others who actually know value of investing in trainings, they would invest in their people. They would make sure they're learning new things, because if they're not learning new things, uh, then they're not going to last for very long. Like you rightly pointed out, if you're taking the same type of customer query every day, it probably wouldn't last for very long. Uh, but if you talk about call center industry, so there are two types of obviously call centers that I would like to point out. One is captive or in-house call center. For example, a bank having a call center in-house, and then an outsourcing company which has multiple customers like us. So we have over 40 customers, more than 70 projects, and that's the environment where they can move from one project to another. We have a lot more opportunities compared to captive or in-house call centers. They can move, from local projects to international projects. They can move from one local project to another local project, and then they have a lot of trainings which are constantly happening, and you have to do that to stay at top. As an employer, you have to constantly train employees and your people. But I would say that don't depend uh, on the employer to do everything for you. For example, at start of our career, we were working in mortgage industry, and our job was to generate a lead for our clients, right? But then we started listening to loan officer conversations, started looking at what are they doing after we transfer the lead, what are they saying. So we learned a lot of things just by listening to other people and what are they doing. So you move one step ahead. Then we had Spanish customers, and we started learning Spanish, and that's not something that our employer told us. We did that on our own. So for example, in banking industry or telecom industry, retail industry, it's up to you as a person to learn more about your industry. So you might be serving a bank, but how much do you know about the banking industry? If you're working on one specific product, have you made an effort to learn about other products? Have you how do you spend time every day learning something new? So although employer would give you opportunities, but still it is your responsibility as an individual to make sure you constantly every day you learn something new.
I see. So next session we will do in Spanish, since we now know you can speak Spanish. So next time we do it in Spanish. So talking about the employer, the next question I would like to ask is, as a leader, how would you identify the top tier talent? And then once you know that this is your guy, how would you recognize them, appreciate them, and ensure that they stick around, learn more, and stay around and be happy with you as a leader? How a
Right.
leader should first of all identify who's the top
Yeah.
tier talent, and then reward them accordingly.
Yeah. So what we do is, and I think different people would answer this question differently. But what we do is we hire people, and but we only promote from within, right? So we have an opportunity to look at them over an extended period of time. So let's say they join as an call center agent or CRO or chat support agent or backend support agent. But then we always try to promote from within. If we cannot find talent in house, only then we would go outside. But otherwise, we have an extended period of time where they were CROs, then they became supervisors, team leads, assistant managers, managers, and that's how they've grown. It's important for you to see how people respond in different situations. How do they interact? Have they do they have the desire to constantly learn? Because if you find a person who doesn't have the desire to constantly learn every day, bit by bit, then that's not the kind of leader that we're looking for. We are looking for, or I'm sure everybody else in the market as well, you want people who are passionate, right? That's the the most important trait. And passion is something which shows. It's not something that you can hide. Passionate people, people who have constant desire to learn, constant desire to add value to customers and clients, people who can be creative, people who are problem solvers, and these are the ingredients of leadership material. So we constantly look out for these ingredients, and if we find these ingredients, we want to see that over a period of time, give them opportunities, try them out on smaller projects, then give them bigger projects, from less responsibility to more responsibility, from simple to complex. That's how you see them in different situations. And that's when you realize that these are the guys who would make future leaders. And then you reward them. Like I said, you can reward them in different ways. Obviously, you can reward them by giving them responsibility, and with more responsibility, obviously more money comes in. So rewards could be monetary rewards, obviously matter the most to people, but then the other rewards, the learning opportunities, working on bigger projects, working on different customers, getting a diversified experience, that's how you reward leaders and people.
So generally, if somebody is stuck in a position for certain time and feel that they're
Right.
not growing, what should they do? Now, first question is, when should I consider myself stuck and not growing? It's like 3 months. It can be 6 months. How should I
Hmm.
identify that situation, and then how to come out of it?
Hmm. Okay. So, how would you know that you're stuck? Or you would know you're stuck because there's nothing to learn. I think that's when I would feel I'm stuck. Uh, and if you're learning, I mean, so for example, one position could be a very exhaustive learning experience. And once you've exhausted that experience, that means either you're moving up or you're staying there. And it might not be at certain times. It might not be that you've not learned enough. It might be there are no positions available because of which you're stuck. But if positions are not available, your learning shouldn't stop. So if you're starting off, let's say you graduate out of school, you work in a call center for 6 months to a year, and you're not finding an growth, I think you need to consider a few things. One, do I stand out? Have I learned enough for next position, because when you start acting or living the next position, whatever that is, you will get to that position. But if you're not learning for next position, if you're not adding value that can be added at the next level, then you will be stuck. So you need to do a lot of self probing, something that maybe others wouldn't be able to help you, but you gotta learn. You need to understand, why am I stuck? Is it because I'm not good for the next position? Is it because the new positions are not available? But after you've analyzed the situation, and majority of the time I think it will point out to you. And as a person, I think we got to take responsibility that there's something I can do to resolve that position, and don't pass the blame outside of yourself.
Right. So, meanwhile, when we're talking, I would like to ask all the listener viewers to they can post their questions in the comment section, and I will answer towards the end of the session. So you can go ahead and start posting the question in the comment section. So while talking about not growing, we have seen that in this industry, because like you mentioned in the beginning, the size of this is so huge, and the opportunities are there, but that means there's competition as well. So in order to, like you were saying, you have to stand out. What are your tips? What are the best few things that anybody can do and start improving from what you were yesterday and then today, and then start getting noticed and start performing well. So like I said, there's competition and the size is big.
Yeah.
What are those few things that we should do to learn and improve every day?
Right. So I think in terms of learning, it depends what are you being measured on, right? So let's say you being measured on quality of the experience that you're given, the ratings by the customers. It could be number of calls or tickets that you've closed. And let's say everybody else is averaging 80 calls or 60 calls or 60 tickets, and you are at 60 as well. Right? You don't stand out. That's one thing. Secondly, in terms of your knowledge, so in terms of KPIs, you need to whatever you're being measured on, you need to be way ahead of others. Second very important component is how good is your knowledge? Do other people come to you if they have a question or not?
That's a good point.
And
Yeah.
if others are not seeking your help with something, right? It could be anything. Then that means you've their attention to come and seek your help, right? So you can stand out in a lot of other ways. Some people are not good at any of these things, but uh, they keep the group happy, right? They're really good with people. People want to hang out with them. People want to be close to them because just hanging out with them is awesome. And these are generally extroverts who are really good with building relationships.
Yeah.
So
So this
whatever
is
it is.
this is the point where we I understand what you're referring to. The people are coming up to you, and then this is how. But then there are situations where others who start thinking that there's favoritism, and people are getting promoted because they are in good books of leaders. How should a company like Abacus or any other big
Yeah.
company or call center or even a smaller company should deal with this situation? One, I understand there should be a fair, transparent process of promoting somebody, but in day-to-day operations, how we
Yeah.
can control such environment?
What I've seen is, usually employers are, uh, they're not doing favoritism because it hurts them. So let's say if you're hiring people based on whether you like them or not, ultimately you're gonna destroy the company, because you need talented people. You need people who can actually get the job done, right? Uh,
Yeah.
but here's what I've seen. It's very easy to pass the blame on to others, pass the blame on to the employer. They are doing favoritism.
Yes.
But usually, a lot of people, when they come to me, what I've seen is they are just trying to pass on the blame and not look inside. What could I have done better? Is there anything that I lack? Is there anything that I can improve? So instead of seeking counsel, mentorship from somebody to help them grow, they would try to pass the buck on to somebody else. And I think that's a defeating attitude. You need to have a positive attitude, believe in yourself, work hard, be better than others, and
Yeah,
you
but
will.
sometimes what happens, someone thinks in their head that they're doing so good, and they live in this situation where they think that they're actually doing better than others. But in reality, when there comes a time when there's a promotion or there's opening, somebody else get it, and then they think, "Oh, I was the best and I still get it," and that's where this narrative start building.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
self-awareness, how important it is, and how we can keep a
Oh
check
man,
on it, that how good I am.
very, very important. And 9 out of 10 people wouldn't be self-aware, and this is based on just yesterday I had interviews lined up for team lead position, and what they don't see, and what somebody like me who would see, they can look at these 20, 30 people who were shortlisted, and you can see the width and breadth of experience and what they're talking about. But I, as an individual, if I'm not self-aware, I will not compare. I need to do similar analysis of what the employer is doing. I need to see, I've got 20 people in my batch. Uh, you know, is there somebody else who's better than me, right? And if you're biased, if you're not self-aware, you're more likely to say, I'm the best. Nobody else is better than me, and I deserve this position, right? But most of the time, the fault lies within. It's not outside. So self-awareness will help you correct your mistakes, correct your weaknesses. But if you're not self-aware, you keep on thinking, I'm the best, I got to be promoted.
Yeah, and I also think that to avoid such situation, it is okay that you can actually go to your leader, your supervisor, your manager, who is, and ask for a feedback. If you're not being given, uh, you normally there should be a feedback, weekly or monthly, or most likely there should be a system in place. But in case if not, it's completely okay that you should go and ask for the feedback from somebody who's actually evaluating you,
Yeah,
right?
and Sarfraz, also, I think the problem is a lot more basic, right? And that problem is doing the right thing for the right reason, and that is a lot of people walk into a job and only thinking about making money, right? But
Yeah.
whereas they should be walking into a job thinking, what can I learn? Right? And am I learning something new? If not from work, can I do something? If not at that specific role, can I go to somebody else within that company and learn another skill that I can? So, for
Yeah.
example, in call center job, your job is to take calls, right? But
Right.
then you need to know, what are the quality assurance guys doing? What is the MIS person doing? How are they preparing these reports? How do you get value and data and insights out of these reports? How to Excel, for example, is an important skill to learn. So our focus, majority of the time, is just making money. But if your focus is learning and you're constantly learning, then you will be rewarded
Yeah.
a lot faster, in my opinion. Instead of thinking only about promotion, you will get promoted if you've learned enough.
Yeah.
People are constantly, there's always a Sarfraz room at the top. People are constantly looking for people who are talented, passionate, and hardworking.
Great. So this brings me to my last question, and then we'll open for public questions. Uh, what are those common mistakes that people usually do at the start of their career, the fresh graduates and who's doing their first job? What are these most common mistakes that you have seen people making, and uh, that actually slow down their growth or the opportunities?
I think, like I said, one of the mistakes could be that you're in the wrong industry. You might
Industry
have
itself, yeah.
gotten the job. Industry itself matters a lot. And then, secondly, like I said, expectations. If your expectation is only to make money, I think it's a wrong expectation for you when you're starting out at, even if you're making 10, 20, 15,000, whatever money you're making, your focus should be learning, because first job might not pay you a lot, but you learn something. Second job
Yes.
will pay you a lot, because now everybody is paying for your
For the
experience,
experience, yeah.
the skills that you bring to table, the learning that you bring to table, the value addition, creativity, innovation. And these are all the things you can learn at your first job,
So what you're
and
saying is
so
basically for the first job, when you're looking for compensation, financial compensation, salary in simple terms, should not be the only or the first thing that you should consider, right?
Absolutely. Your focus should be. For example, I started doing internships or volunteer, not internships, volunteer work right after 10th grade, 12th grade, after graduation. I was working during my master's degree. And so that gives you experience, and your expectations are, because you just come out of school, you've only been to home and to school, your expectation is going to be a nice environment. It's going to be uh, everything's going to be hunky dory, which is not the case. You will have to be disciplined, like you rightly pointed out previously, that you will have a schedule, and you're just not used to a schedule. You need to take a break. You need to have a scheduled break. You cannot be out for very long. Whereas college could have been easier depending on which school you go to. But expectations at the job are very different, and you need to understand those, and do the learn primarily, and after you've learned, you will get more opportunities.
Exactly, and also these young people that are coming, you see that they ambitious, but sometimes they're over ambitious, and then very early in the job they're looking for promotions, and if they don't get it, they get impatient, they start switching jobs. How do you
Yeah.
think they should deal with this situation? What is your advice to people who are just starting and they're really ambitious about it?
I think ambition is not a bad thing. You got to be ambitious, but at the same time, you got to be realistic. Ambition is not a shortcut. You should be ambitious, but then everything takes time. And I, I do encourage people working for different companies, especially at the start of their career, because then they can appreciate different environments. They can be in certain cases uh, thankful for what they have missed in another company, or what they gained in another company. They can appreciate that. And even within a company, if you stay in the same company for a longer period of time, you need to get diversified experience and your focus should be gaining that experience and focusing on learning, improving yourself, both in terms of people skills, and then technical skills and analytical skills, problem
Right.
solving skills.
Yeah. So towards the closing, Johnson, we're taking questions. So there's this question in the comments that somebody wants to know uh, how important a CV is and what is good CV writing, and the first interview or the interview itself. Uh, what should they do or what they should not do in interviews or CVs?
Mm. I think in interview in your CV first, it should be simple. It should give all the information. Use a the right template, which is easy to read.
Yeah,
Uh,
just to
you
just to add in here, what we see normally is that there's just one template that they will just pick up from Google or somewhere and just change the information. I think this shows that you're not really putting in effort in your own self.
yes,
So
yes,
I usually recommend people to give it some time, thought, and
yes,
think about it and write your own CV rather than just copy pasting it.
yeah, 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 yeah. And what people are writing, and the things that you see, you can see that they've not put in a lot of effort in thinking.
Yeah,
Um and also probably because employers also don't read
I agree.
CVs very
Yeah.
carefully either. Uh, but but you gotta put in your effort to tell the employer who you are, be creative in the CV, again, stand out, do something differently. There's so many formats. There's put up a picture. I would say a lot of people don't put up a picture on their resume, whereas they put picture on their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere else. But on your resume, you're not putting up your picture. Take a nice picture, put it up. Write details about who you are. Write down any experience that you have, even if it's volunteer experience. You need to write it down. So people would tell you that they have done this and done that, but they so whatever you have done, even uh, I think some of the schools now actually are giving counseling to students on how to write your resume, and their resume is a lot better. But generally, for everybody else, I think even if you've done a volunteer work, you're fresh graduate, uh, you have an internship, write as much details as possible. Write what you've achieved, write what you've learned, and make it part of your resume.
And interviews. What are the common mistakes people do in interviews? I've seen people they're educated, they have good CVs, but when they come in interview, they're not able to do so good, and they lose the opportunity. What are the things that they should do and should avoid doing in interviews?
Yeah, first thing, I think I want to point out a blunder that I've seen a lot of people making. So, for example, if I would ask them, tell me something about yourself, which is generally the most common question any employer would ask, right? And they would say, "What do you want to know?" And that's, I think, it's a blunder that you can they've employers ask you a simple open-ended question. Just tell them about yourself, and then be prepared. You want to
Right.
tell them about your educational background, about what you've done. If you're fresh graduate, you don't have a lot of experience, but you might have an internship. Talk about that internship. Talk about what you learned, and you're trying to. That's your first opportunity, because if you can buy that 1 minute, if you're saying something interesting, you have gained attention of the person who's interviewing you. So be well prepared, say something, and a lot of time, again, it's all about communication. You might have done a lot of things, gained a lot of experience, but can you put it across?
Yes. Also, I think it's important that you do your homework about the job itself and the company that
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
going.
absolutely.
Lot of time people just come to interview with unprepared and they don't know what they're applying for. They just saw the ad and applied. The next question, and then we just take one more question after, and then we out of time. So this question is from Malik Abbas, and he's asking, how important is data analytics job in this industry? If it is important, what are the skill set a person should have to succeed in this industry of data analytics and analyzing the data and all that? और एक comment भी है और वो चाह रहे कि हम थोड़ा उर्दू में बात कर लें ताकि if possible try I know
डेटा एनालिटिक्स जो है इस इंडस्ट्री में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, बिकॉज आपके पास इतना ज्यादा डेटा आता है, कस्टमर का डेटा आपके पास आ रहा है, आपके पास बहुत सारे सिस्टम्स हैं जो आप यूज कर रहे हैं, और उन सारे सिस्टम्स से आपके पास CRM है, आपके पास ERP है, अगर डिपेंडिंग ऑन इंडस्ट्री कौन सी है, आपके पास इंडस्ट्री स्पेसिफिक सिस्टम्स भी होंगे। तो इन सारे सिस्टम से डेटा आपके पास आ रहा है और आप इसको एनालाइज करने से जो आपको इनसाइट्स निकल रही हैं, सिर्फ आप एक एस्पेक्ट देखें, आई थिंक इट्स अ मच बिगर टॉपिक, इट वुड टेक अ लॉट लॉन्गर टू एक्सप्लेन, बट आई वुड टॉक अबाउट जस्ट वन स्पेसिफिक थिंग व्हिच इज नेट प्रमोटर स्कोर या कस्टमर रेटिंग्स जो जनरली होती हैं। कस्टमर रेटिंग्स का डेटा जो है उसको आप लेट्स से आप बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में है, तो आप बैंकिंग इंडस्ट्री में ये देखेंगे कस्टमर की रेटिंग किस प्रोडक्ट पे हमें क्या आ रही है, कंज्यूमर लेट्स से कंज्यूमर फाइनेंस है, या रिटेल बैंकिंग है, या आपकी ब्रांचेस बैंकिंग है, इन सब में डिफरेंट बिजनेस सेगमेंट्स की रेटिंग क्या है। फिर उसके बाद आप देखेंगे कि जियोग्राफिकली इन कस्टमर्स की रेटिंग कराची से क्या आ रही है, लाहौर से क्या आ रही है, इस्लामाबाद से क्या आ रही है, अदर सिटीज से क्या आ रही है। फिर यू विल लुक एट अदर डेमोग्राफिक्स, फॉर एग्जांपल मेल्स में हमारी रेटिंग क्या है, फीमेल्स में रेटिंग क्या है, एज ग्रुप में हमारी रेटिंग क्या है। सो ये सिर्फ इट्स जस्ट वन स्मॉल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ एनालिसिस, एंड बेस्ड ऑन दिस एनालिसिस यू विल सी कि ये ब्रांच है, फॉर एग्जांपल मेरी बैंकिंग की बात करें, इस ब्रांच में मेरी रेटिंग सही नहीं है, या मेरी साउथ में रेटिंग्स ठीक नहीं है, नॉर्थ में रेटिंग्स ठीक है। सो what is not
difference
doing,
क्या है? Yeah,
right?
very
So
important.
data
Yes.
analytics तो spirit है
Backbone
इस backbone है इस industry की, absolutely.
Exactly. Zabardast. So I think for me also it was very insightful and learning session. Thank you so much, Johnson, for joining. I know you had a busy schedule. Thank you for your time. And we know you
Thank you
play
for having
guitar
me.
as well. We'll be out of time. Maybe next session.
Next
we ask
time.
you to play. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you everyone for joining and asking questions, showing interest. I hope this was a helpful session for you guys. And next week we'll come with episode 20. Thank you so much for joining. Allah Hafiz.